So a quick gardening video. So these tires, you might say to yourself, why do you have tires in there? You know, they're going to fill with the rain and be mosquito traps, especially down here in Georgia in the swamp where my house is built on top of. Not responsible land usage. But why do I have them? I'll tell you why. You can use them for excellent planters if you cut them up properly and turn them inside out. They make wonderful planters. This is a mustard leaf. This is kale. This is, I don't remember what that's called. You figure it out. It's something. You should learn. You're the one asking me about gardening. Figure out what that is. It's edible. I know it's bitter and it's gross. This one surrounds my mailbox. There's the mailbox. This is mammoth dill that I planted in there. That's a fire ant hill that I might take care of with some corn meal or grits. That's another video that I can show you guys. There's a nice little tire planter. This one contains oregano and sage. And that piece up there is the scrap from making those. This one contains mint. And there's another use of the scrap. We can see we use this piece here that I stuck in there and put on there. It looks like a decorational sunflower. It's fantastic. That one has rhubarb and garlic and one carrot that I replanted from the store. This is another scrap piece that collects rain and puts it into my citrus tree. There's one back there. That's my basil garden. That one over there has thyme and a rose bush in it. There are a lot of uses for these tires if you make these planters. This one is rosemary and parsley. And I have a bunch more tires, as you saw, that I'm going to chop up and turn inside out and do this. There's going to be a video on how to do that, but this is showing you why you should collect used tires from people's garbage heaps on the side of the road on garbage day. Don't throw them out. They last forever. And they make outstanding planters. Everything that I put in these explodes. It goes out of control. And it's a good way to keep the things that go out of control, like mint and all the other herbs that I have, to keep them in control. They stay inside the planter. Some benefits of them, when you do it like this, they collect the rainwater. It sits in there. They're black, so they get solar heat. So it initiates thermal composting. So you get thermal composting. You get rainwater collection. It has to go out through the tiny hole in the bottom. There is a hole in the bottom. That's fantastic. So things like worms can go up inside and then live in there and be protected down here from things like armadillos. In your area, there's probably other things that eat worms because they are miraculous creatures that science does not understand. And, you want them in your garden. You can go to the store and buy worm castings, or you can put worms in your garden and just, create a habitat like a used tire that would regularly go into a landfill and pollute the environment to grow your plants in. Tires, like the ones from my truck, which are E-rated, have a much thicker sidewall. And they are harder to cut through than regular car tires. If you can find car tires, they're much easier to do. If you do a thicker tire, it is harder to do, and I actually have to use this truck to turn these inside out. And there's a special process for that that I may or may not show you guys how to do. I don't have any more E-rated tires, and I don't like working with them because they're hard to turn inside out to make those planters. But this is essentially what it starts with. A regular tire that you're going to throw in the garbage. You can turn it inside out, fill it with compost, and it will grow the most glorious plants that you could ever grow. Thinner walled tires like this one, or this one, because it's not designed to be on this trailer, and I'm unhappy with that. Found that out after I bought the boat, and it started falling apart on the highway. Thank God we didn't have an accident. Are greater in their repurposability for planters because they have a thinner sidewall. It's much easier to cut. This tool, the standard K-bar knife, is my favorite tool for cutting tires. They stay sharp for very long. They're made of higher quality steel. They're nice and long, so you get a good long cut. And they pretty much cut through sidewall like rubber. So if you're looking to slash some tires or make planters, this is the tool that you want. For smaller tires, I like doing the more ornate pattern. You can do more ornate patterns than this. I like just doing the straight lines. Once you get the first one done, you can use the old scrap pieces that fall out of the middle that look like this to mark out your next tires that you're going to do. So don't throw these away necessarily if you want to repeat the pattern. It's as simple as laying it in there and marking it off. I use grease pencil, which draws on the tires very nicely. If you find something that's better, maybe like a crayon, I don't know. The grease pencil I found works best. I use a yellow one, so it's, you know, a little bit higher visibility. So I'll mark off each point and each divot on the side, and then I'll draw a straight line between the two if I feel like it, or I'll just cut between. And when you're done, you know, there are some imperfections like this little curve, but from far away, you can't really tell. And for a recycled product, it looks pretty good. For larger tires, especially ones that are E-rated for bigger trucks, this is the way to go. You don't have to make as many cuts. It's much easier. And if you're doing things like my sunflower planters outside, you know, you get much better pedal looking things if you want to reuse the inside. I think it looks a little bit better this way on the bigger tires, and I think this looks a little more ornate and better on the smaller tires. So that's the way that I do it this way. So again, I'll do another video on how to do it, but basically you take the knife and you stab it into the sidewall of the tire and cut until you get to the point, turn it around, cut, turn it around, cut, and keep doing that. That's all you have to do to turn these into this. With the car tires, again, much thinner walls, they're way more pliable. You can do these by hand, and with your knee, you just put a dimple in one side and start turning them inside out. With the truck tires, you have to pull them with the truck and, you know, like stomp on them or something to get them going. It's a lot of work with the big truck tires that are E-rated for heavy loads. So that's why I recommend not necessarily, you know, if you're a beginner to start with those. I did, because I had to change out the full set of tires on my truck, which I do by myself, and I'll probably show a video of how to change out your truck tires by yourself and balance them and not have to pay anybody. It's fantastic. You save a crap load of money, and you know that it's done right, and it does a better job than getting them in the store with lead weights. So if you're doing this, back to the planters, if you're doing this, start with car tires, learn about what you're doing, figure out, you know, the physics behind how it works, and then, you know, feel free to move up to the bigger tires, because it's nice to have a bigger, nicer planter to put a bunch of things in. The best things I found in planting these, again, you saw it, I put most of my herbs in there. The herbs, you don't have to water as much, and these maintain a lot of water. So, you know, water conservation, that's the best thing to do. I'm sure you could plant tomatoes in there. I had one that I threw some compost in that included potatoes, and they exploded. So you could grow potatoes in it, all kinds of things. This is an excellent idea to do with old tires instead of sending them out to a landfill. So that concludes my video on tire planters and why they're fantastic. I will show you guys a video of how to make them because it's important. I'm sure you can figure it out because you all are smart people, and I know that you're resourceful and can figure it out. But I will show you guys a video for those of you that cannot figure it out. This is what they look like. These are the fantastic things that you can do. Again, this is rosemary and parsley and a biker gnome and a pooping gnome. So you can always add these features to your little tire planters, which make them extra fantastic. I hope you guys found this informative. You know, reuse, recycle, don't throw things out, always get back to the land. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am out.